Hello, my fellow Americans. I'm James Monroe. I was the 5th President of the United States and the last president from the Founding Fathers. Before my presidency, I served in the Continental Army during the Revolution and helped to draft the Constitution. I also persuaded Napoleon to sign for the Louisiana Purchase before my presidency, which shows my negotiating powers. Without my help, the United States would not have been able to expand to our manifest destiny. President Madison then encouraged me to run for the presidency in 1816, where I won easily. I ran for re-election in 1820 and won with 80% of the vote, which shows my popularity as president. This was the last election where a president almost won unanimously. My presidency was termed the era of good feelings because the Federalist Party collapsed and the country returned to the one-party system with the Democratic Republicans in control. When choosing my cabinet members, I strove to focus on an individual's ability rather than their political party. I unified the nation and decreased sectional tensions by admitting a Southerner, John C. Calhoun, and a Northerner, John Quincy Adams, into my cabinet. My ultimate goal was to eliminate parties altogether from national politics in order to unify the nation. This is similar to Washington's message in his farewell address. However, I was actually able to diminish political parties during my presidency, whereas Washington only warned against them. Overall, my presidency was very successful, and my biggest achievement was the Monroe Doctrine. This stated that there could be no further European colonization in the New World, and that European countries could not interfere in Western governments. This was very important because it ensured that our country could develop without European intervention and established our sphere of influence in the Western Hemisphere. This doctrine is still in force to this day and is a major factor of why the U.S. was successful. I also presided over the Adams-Onis Treaty, where we obtained Florida from Spain. This allowed for ships from the Caribbean to reach American ports quickly, which helped the nation's economy. It also eased tensions and helped to remove Spanish presence, which secured the nation. I also presided over the Missouri Compromise, which was devised by Henry Clay and admitted Missouri as a free state, Maine as a slave state, and established the 3630 line. Some may argue that this compromise increased tensions and led to the Civil War. However, I was a supporter of free states, and this statute was the best compromise that could be made during my presidency. Once I left office, the era of good feelings ended and the two-party system reformed. This shows the peace that I brought to the office during my presidency. I would also like to add that the country did not follow Washington's advice to not form political parties or foreign alliances. However, the country continued to follow the policies set forth in the Monroe Doctrine. My doctrine allowed for the young country to successfully develop without European influence. Another failure of Washington's can be seen in the Whiskey Rebellion. Washington taxed farmers in 1791 in order to pay for the debt from the Revolution. This led farmers who sold distilled grain to go bankrupt. The farmers rioted and Washington brutally put down the rebellion. This tax greatly increased tensions between the classes, as farmers were the most affected group. Washington also failed to effectively address the issue of slavery. He enacted the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793, which made it a crime to help an escaped slave. Washington's presidency saw the emergence of issues that would continue for decades. I died on July 4, 1831, the third president to have died on Independence Day, along with John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. This shows my monumental importance to the United States.